A Sydney man has won the right to get behind the wheel of a taxi despite a history of drug, traffic and robbery offences. Andy Benjamin Darku, 30, from Guildford successfully overturned a decision by the Roads and Maritime Services, barring him from driving a taxi, in the Civil and Administrative Tribunal, last month. Mr. Darku first applied to RMS for an authority to drive a taxi in October last year. The application and a subsequent review were refused by RMS after the discovery of previous criminal, drugs and traffic offences. Those included a 2006 conviction for robbery in company, when Mr. Darku was sentenced to 3 years 6 months imprisonment. He was released at the end of 2007, after the expiry of a non-parole period. He told RMS he was sorry for his crimes, which he described as a mistake. 11 years ago I made the single biggest mistake of my life. I was young, I was misguided and I was stupid, he said. I paid for my mistake to society. The punishment then is a lingering reminder of a disappointing time in my life. But there were other offences. In August 2011, Mr. Darku was found with drugs in his system and fined $1,000 and disqualified from driving for 6 months. He has also admitted to smoking marijuana up until the birth of his child in November 2015. Since 2004 he has also picked up a number of traffic offences include 3 counts of exceeding speed limit and 1 count of illegal use of a bus lane, as well as 2 counts of driving an unregistered vehicle and 1 count of driving while unlicensed in 2004. Senior tribunal member Norman Eisenberg said Mr. Darku may have gilded the lily when he told RMS he had not had so much as a parking ticket in the last 4 years. But he found there had been no offences since May 2013, and that Mr. Darku's driving record had improved in recent times. The tribunal also heard Mr. Darku was not accurate when he told RMS he had not been known by any other names. Court records found he had previously been convicted under the name Ricardo Brown. However, Mr. Eisenberg found Mr. Darku's answers evidence a lack of insight rather than dishonesty. Mr. Darku, who represented himself, pleaded with the court to allow him behind the wheel and said it had not been easy to turn his life around since coming out of prison. Anybody that's on the street that done the same thing, that's hard to do, and I am proud of where I am now, he said. Maybe you have experienced this, you don't know how difficult it is, but it is difficult and it took some doing, and I am where I am now because I chose to stop, that was hard. Mr. Eisenberg found the likelihood of Mr. Darku reoffending was low and that he no longer behaves like the 18-year-old he was when he committed the offence of robbery in company. I am satisfied that Mr. Darku is presently of good repute and in all other respects a fit and proper person to be the driver of a taxi cab and to be the holder of an authority for that purpose, he said. It comes as RMS said it rejected 92 of the 3585 taxi driver applications it received over the last 10 months. That represents less than 3% of total applications, half of which are rejected on the grounds that the applicant was not fit and proper.